Obsessed with that for days.
Who won, by the way?
Who won? Yeah.
All right, we're live. Ryan here with Accelerate Marketing, and I am here with S, Cliff, and Corey. We've been on a few of these to help business owners make heads or tails of their Google local service ads, their Google business profile page, and also this whole AI thing that everybody seems to be talking about. And we help businesses generate an extra $50,000 a month or more of revenue, local businesses, and Cliff and Corey basically do the same thing. And S is our AI magician. If you guys want to say anything else, go ahead. Go ahead, S.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy with AI magician. You had that mystique, and I was just gonna be like, all right, the magician can show you the tricks now. That's
I was gonna say the trainer.
Yeah.
like a Pokemon trainer or something.
Yep.
That's an interesting. Yeah, it's a. I call myself AI whisperer at times, but trainer, like that actually makes a lot of sense. The very first iteration kind of passes the muster, and then when you want it to do something real, you have to go through and talk to it and edit it. So I guess we can jump right into it.
It's almost like a wild animal until you've trained it. So then it'll do whatever you need. So,
well,
trainable.
The thing is, in the press, like you always get the headlines that's like, oh, this bot went off and did something completely rogue in Maverick, right? And you're just like, man, the rate at which that happens is like a millionth of what happens when you deal with humans, right? Like if it's chatting with 20,000 people and it promised a free flight for this person, like, oh my God, that's newsworthy. And you're just like, okay. And yeah, then it gets down really into the guardrails, right? And so I guess what I'll do is I'll just show my screen. So I'm gonna create, we're gonna workshop this and create an AI version of, I guess, a bed bug expert, as we discussed. This would be something that would go potentially on your website, and the entry that we're trying out here is slightly different, right, from what Ryan and I do with our clients, which is basically have a bot to do intake, ask common questions. Because this particular bot is a lot more interesting because I think there's a lot of value that could be created for visitors of your website. Because anybody that goes in looking for a service, chances are they want to do a little bit of a diagnostic, like they're doing their own online research for that. And so there's nothing better than an AI to answer your personalized questions as if it was ChatGPT from within the website of the business that can connect you with the service. So It's super exciting to me. With that, I'll just share my screen, and Ryan, you can let me know whether it shows up.
It should add as another share. I can add it. And I know that Cliff and Corey have until about 1:45, so we got about 30 minutes with them. I apologize for getting started a little bit late today. I was trying to get I'm using my laptop because I got a new phone and it's going to take a day and a half to transfer all the information from my old phone to my new one. So I'm out of phone today. So anyway,
how do you like the 16 Pro Max?
I like it. It's awesome. Yeah.
All right. So I'm logged into our platform, messagesimprove.com. So anybody can go to that URL, hit that call to action button, sign up, and then you're going to see a screen very similar to what you just saw. I'm logged into my main account, and you can see there's 8,300 bots that were created by other people, and they found us online and just started playing around. So we allow people to create their bots for free. It's metered, you get 20 free messages. And then everybody with a paid plan gets an embed link that they can copy into their website. So with you guys, I know you're still kind of getting the page set up. But I actually encourage people to go ahead and just like get it live, right, and start getting traffic on it. So you give it a name, and you guys have an idea for a name?
So, and to just be clear, what we're doing here is we're showing how quickly an agent or an AI agent can be set up for the purpose of adding it to their website. And the reason why we're doing this is because S did this to his website, and the traffic that he got has increased like tenfold, 15-fold because of the fact that people are spending so much time on the site with the agent on the site. And we'll show you in a second like what the agent looks like on the website. But we're just going through the initial setup just to show you guys how quickly this can be done.
So we can go bedbug expert or yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
And so we'll say this for business, and the greeting would be like, all right, well, I always like very directed questions, especially on a website, to engage them, right? Like they might visit the site, and if you're like, hey, how can I help? If you just got straight to it and was like, do you have bed bugs? Maybe we do that, right?
Yeah, that's how we have our other AI.
I'm sorry you have bed bugs. How can
Are you dealing with bed bugs or something like that is how we typically do it.
Okay, so this is the pre-filled prompt that we put in. Let me just pull up on screen like something I did a little prep like 10 minutes before, where I just wrote out something for you guys, right? And it's super simple. I just say you're an expert for what you do when you have bed bugs. You ask me questions about my current situation and provide answers to the best of your knowledge. This may include solutions, how to tell when there's bed bugs, and what resources there are. You're an interactive assistant created by the owners of Bedbug Leads, which can connect people to remediation professionals through their large network of bedbug exterminators throughout the U.S. You guys feel free to ad lib here.
I think that's a good start.
Yeah.
And then I realize so just for everybody's education purposes, I try to frame out as much as possible. You can imagine this being like a pep talk for somebody, right? So I'll say something like, okay, you're talking to me, somebody who may need bedbug extermination services, and your objective is to gather information necessary to contact me, learn about what I need, and help me schedule a consultation. So it's kind of nice to like put in there what the objective is, right? Because when this conversation goes a little free flow, it's almost like a little direction for the AI to be like, hey, if you stop me, I answer your questions, but like my objective is to do this thing, right? And I think for a lot of businesses there, it's like, okay, well, get me to schedule some time with somebody, right? I put in some rules about how they should talk, what kind of persona they put in. And I know it's like a lot of people will write things like be helpful, right? And I know GPT-4o mini is already way too helpful, and it gets annoying because like it doesn't sound like a person, right? It sounds like a punching bag sometimes. I apologize for this. So I actually don't put that in. I say be conversational, professional, courteous, and warm and trusting, right?
Can you add empathetic?
Warm, trusting, empathetic. Yes, I like that. Respond. I have responded in the same language I speak to you. So within messaging, it's able to detect what language. So if somebody reaches out in Spanish, right? Now I've given them explicit instructions to reply in the same language. And well, I'll demo this on kind of messaging first, and then if we get a chance, I'll connect the voice version. So, all right, this chat is an SMS, so keep responses concise and generally under 4 sentences. That's because whenever you get a long text, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And I also go, as a representative of a company, you will act according to the best professional practices and help answer questions about our business based on the information provided, right? And that's where I might just kind of pull up website information and start throwing in business hours and things like that. But I think for the purposes of this, this is probably good enough to start, right? So I'm just going to hit submit, and that creates the bot, right? It brings you to a page now where you can chat. You can chat with it. I think
Okay. Yeah.
have some bugs. I got some bite marks and think I saw one run away this morning. All right, so already it's kind of taking in like the, hey, let me be helpful first. Let me diagnose, right? And it's taking that like objective that I put in to say, okay, well, it might be a good idea to schedule, a professional consultant. Would you like to help with that? And it may be jumping behavior wise a little too like
A little too soon, but you could adjust that in the bot.
yeah, right. And there, like, for a lot of our deployments, we would go back and say, okay, here's kind of a conversation flow, and you guys do the same, right? Where you're like, okay, here's the first couple of things you should ask, and you could be more explicit about it. Not yet. Can it be something I solve on my own?
So the bot does have access to the internet, so it does its own research without us entering in more detailed information.
Well, it has access to the internet in the sense that, like, the model that we're using, it's combed pretty much all the public internet. So GPT-4o Mini, that's OpenAI's product, and that's the one that powers ChatGPT. So I know there's a next version that like just came out where it does live internet queries, and my suspicion on how it works is when you send a particular message, like let's just say who won the election yesterday, right? It submits that query to the foundation model, and if that foundation model isn't connected to the internet, or they haven't figured out, or they didn't make it, search, they didn't enable that capability, it's not going to have that information on who won the election last night, right? But the way to do it is I suspect is what we call RAG, which is retrieval augmented generation, which is, okay, the foundation model will answer it a certain way, and you can imagine it be, somebody living a year ago, because that was when the data for this model was scraped. But you can augment it with also make this function call to Google search exactly what I wrote, generate the first 10 results, and then put that information into the query, right? Because if you Googled, who won the election last night, right, it's going to say Trump, right? And now if you put that within the model query, like the winner of the presidential election yesterday was Trump, right? Now you submit that to the model. The model will effectively be like, okay, the information is in like what was just submitted. So then it can answer. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Can you say yes, but if I did want to hire a professional, how much would it cost?
I did want to hire a professional. Much would it cost? Okay. So, for some of our clients, they'll say things like, especially legal services, not to mention price. Or if it's, we had a moving company that was just like, yeah, it's free, but don't talk about price. We have to size up the move, right?
Yeah.
So that's easily put into the prompt.
Okay, cool. All right.
And if I go, sure.
We could give it ranges and different ways to calculate.
Yep. Yeah, and so look at this. So when I say yes, right, it kind of has that common sense to almost be like, I need your name, location and phone number, right? Like we didn't explicitly tell it to do that, but we just
Right.
said explained who you are. So I kind of tell people like when you do prompt engineering, you got to start treating it like a person, right? And if you want to strict guidelines on its behavior, you could do kind of the ear quotes. First question, ask me this. Second question, ask me this. But like when conversation goes off script, you actually don't want it to like stay so rigid. Um, and the models are only going to get better and better. Where maybe in a year from now, you can just pop in the URL of the website and not even do any prompting, right? And say, okay, well, this website looks like this. I already know what service they provide. I'm an AI for that, and therefore I know exactly what to say.
Right.
So
Yeah, I mean, the more instructions you give it, the more it, not necessarily the more it knows, but the more it will stay within your guidelines, and if you
Yeah.
give it the proper. But yeah, the prompt that you is pretty limited, so it doesn't have a lot of guidelines, but it's still doing pretty well. I mean,
yeah,
it's doing as expected, really.
Yeah, and
yep.
as you were saying that it could pull, like it would obviously look at the data all the way up to about a year from the foundation model, but how would it get that most recent up to date information from like yesterday the presidential winner?
So that goes down to within the model. Like I think the latest version of Claude, for example, if you use their app, right?
Mhm.
They say, well, it has access to the internet now.
Right.
But like GPT 4.0 or the version powering ChatGPT, I don't know if that's in there yet. Right.
Okay.
But the next upgrade, they may say, okay, you have a toggle, can it connect to the internet or not? Right.
Got it.
And if it can, then it's going to run that Google search, take that information, and then submit it. Like, okay, the AI will
Got
say, something, but it's a little bit of engineering, and that's my suspicion on how they're doing it. Right. Like I have no idea behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. How long is your prompt? Like how many characters can your prompt be? Is it infinite? Is it limited?
So if you asked me a year and a half ago, it would have been 4,000 tokens. So it's like 2,000 or 1,200 words. So that's like 2 pages, right? And but now the context windows are up to 128,000. So you're talking about 100 pages of text ish.
Yeah. Yeah. So we could really give it a lot of instructions.
You could give it a lot.
Yeah, depending on your objective and everything, you could give it a lot of instruction, or give it free range.
I mean, with that context window, imagine you guys have a network of professionals, right? If you copied and pasted your entire Rolodex, right, just into the window, now when it asks for a professional, we could have instructed it to be like, return the one that is closest to my location.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Based on zip code. Yeah.
And think about that. Now, if this thing was just on your website, how much value it creates, right? It's answered questions to the best that ChatGPT can answer. When you said you wanted a professional, it would give you the contact, and it would find that professional and give you the contact information. Like that alone is way more helpful than any website I usually use.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think people are really, really used to the Google search model, or the Google search, the search and do research model. But I find it very helpful, the AI model. With the Google model, you're looking up links. You're looking up links, then you got to go into each link and read it, and then make a conclusion or a summary in your mind. But Chat GPT can do that, or AI in general, not just Chat GPT, can do that so much faster and so much more concise. And if you get it, if you give it some idea of what you want to know, it can just go out and find it for you.
Right.
It's so much shorter of a time than when you could do the same thing
I
without
mean, look, Google had done inklings of this where it was the zero search result. Remember when it was just like the top 10, and then like if you asked a very clear question like who was the first president of the U.S., right? It had a snippet with the answer in it,
it.
right?
Yeah.
And you're like, that's how you want a person to act, really, right? And I think all they're doing now with the AI is doing exactly that. But then if you wanted to look up the sources, you can. And I'm pretty sure that's where everybody's just going to consolidate as a model. I'm going to get you the answer, but if you want to do your research, I'm also going to give you the bibliography too, right? For you to look it up. So I'm just going to test this out and see what it actually says, right? Okay, it stopped me from that. But again, I could be popping into here and saying, call the bug leads or visit bed bedbugleads.com to find someone local. All right. If I updated that and I restarted that conversation, and it may actually be reflected now. Where do I go to find the directory? Yeah, now it's already reflected. You can visit bedbugleads.com where you can find a directory of local exterminator.
Yeah.
Presumably, they came from your website. But you can actually put in the page, right? Directory/directory to point them. They can click that and link, and now you kind of have
a knowledge base online as opposed to text.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, I really like how you have simplified the process and really made it, it's really accessible for everybody, really. I mean, with a minimum of research and almost anybody without even a background in AI, they could really do this. I mean, it does make it accessible.
Yeah. I mean, we've gone out of our way because, like I was telling you, I've the first thing that came to mind when this AI was ready was I was like, how do I create a digital version of me, right? And I was at a loss. I had to call up an expert to do it. I definitely went up that learning curve, despite being an AI for 6 years before that, and it was tough. And so when we built this out, we had in mind even, like we have a training guide here that goes, hey, like we made it super easy for you to be able to do that. But then the natural next question is like, okay, what information do I do to train? How do I train? And I tell people that for most agents, 90% of your work is going to be in the prompt, right? So you chat with it doesn't answer right, just go back into that form and put in the information, right? Again, that context window is a couple hundred pages long now, so you can put in as many things as you want. So that's the first way to do it, right? The second way is to upload or scrape a website, and we can do that now. Bedbugleads.com. I wonder whether it will scrape. We're at a 50% chance here, and I should.
Not that much about bed bugs.
Yeah, it should be.
It's all about bed bug marketing.
Is it bestbedbugleads.com, Corey? Yeah, it's bestbedbugleads.com.
Oh, okay. Well, you got somebody else on there. Okay,
I could find a better one.
Because even if you had, we have some firms that will publish materials like blogs about stuff, right? And yeah, that would be valuable information sometimes, right? Like if you guys had ever published anything about how to identify whether you have bed bugs. So that just augments its knowledge base, right? And then also the training files. If you just had, your website and just did a Control-A and paste everything that was in your website, that's also another way to do it. Save it in the Word file and then upload that Word file.
Yeah. Does it have to be your website, or you can use other people's websites?
Oh, other people's websites. I mean, when we first got this thing working, I was like, man, I came from the insurance industry, and everybody has questions about insurance, like, and there are sites out there that go, um, you know, they're brokerage sites that will be like, okay, as a freelance software engineer, what kind of insurance do you need? And they had like thousands of pages of this, right? All I did was just go scrape the entire website and be like, all right, now I can create a website that's like, I saw you tough insurance questions. Okay, what kind of, insurance do I need as a software engineer? All right. And
Yeah.
I immediately saved those bots because I was like, oh dear God, that means that in 6 months from now, these sites are gonna not allow their site to be crawled by bots.
Yeah.
Um, and look, there's a deeper philosophical question here about like copyright and stuff like that, right? But I'm like, everybody who's trying to fight the tide on this copyright, like the publishing companies will fight that, right? Losing battle.
Yeah.
If anything, you want to pay to get on GPT because if you're like, who won yesterday's presidential election? If you're New York Times that doesn't allow crawling and AP News allows crawling, well, guess who the top 3 search results are going to be?
Right.
Not New York Times,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so we're like, fight the tide as much as you want, but like, it's like the internet, you're going to lose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, we didn't have a list of all bedbug facts ready for us, but it's clear that you've made it easy to train a bot. So
Yeah.
we in the next 4 minutes we don't have time to do all the bedbug research under the sun, but
Yep.
we can we could do pretty good.
I mean, heck, here's a site. All things big bug facts, right? It's
Yeah, it's going to take a little while to scrape it, but
yeah, it might take a while, but it can kind of run in the background. And
So
then,
is it scraping the whole website or just that page that you put in?
so that's where it's a little nuanced. Sometimes this will work and sometimes not because it scrapes every single link here and does a deep.
Oh,
Right?
gotcha.
And so we could simplify it, but that's going to be the next iteration. And then we're also going to allow sitemaps, right? So if you had a whole like list, that's really easy to scrape, and that's probably the best way to do it. And then I'm just going to show you kind of like the behavioral sliders, where if you wanted something that was just doing facts, you would bring the temperature down to be robotic, so it doesn't make anything up. But if this was a tool for like, it's a coach, and you want to be human, make it more creative. And these are dials on like how long it, on how repetitive it gets, right?
Yeah.
And let's just see if within 4 minutes we can get this attached to a telephone number that you can call. All right. So I'm just gonna go buy this number now. This is where we require you to upgrade to a pro, which is $100 a plan. $100 a month, right? To attach it to a telephone number. Oh,
okay. And you could pick your area code if you wanted to.
yes, yeah, we do a search.
And so does that automatically connect to an AI voice and an AI text bot?
Yes, this is something that we're teasing now. We're gonna end up charging separately for it. And then with OpenAI's voice version, we're going to charge more for that because it'll do multiple languages. But let me see. Okay, this is
that's a big thing to make user friendly.
All right. So I'm going to call it right now and see whether it's going to chat. 413-600-0026.
Hello? Thank you for reaching out to Bedbug Lead. I'm so sorry to hear you might be dealing with bedbugs. Can you tell me a little bit about what's been going on and what made you think you might have a bedbug problem?
Yeah, I saw some bite marks on my hand this morning.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Bedbug bites can be really frustrating. Can you tell me a bit more about the bite marks? Are they itchy? And are they all in one area or scattered?
They are not itchy, and it's all in one area in a straight line.
that's a pretty common sign of bed bugs, as they tend to bite in a line or a row. Have you seen any actual bugs or blood stains on your sheets or mattress?
Actually, could you just refer me to somebody?
I'd be happy to help you with that. Before I connect you with a local bed bug exterminator, can I just get your zip code or city and state so I can find someone in your area?
All right, I'm gonna end that demo there. But guys,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really good. But yeah, with a minimum amount of setup, no prep. I mean, a little bit of prep ahead of time, and then
I just learned something about bed bugs. I didn't know about buying. I mean, I just learned some stuff actually.
And you're tapping into the knowledge of ChatGPT here, right?
Pretty accurate, really. Yeah, pretty accurate. Yeah, I mean, making the access to the voice bot that easy, for somebody to access. Yeah, that's a big step. I'm impressed.
It's voice and text and embed on your website, so it's voice and text, and pretty soon it's going to be able to switch back and forth between voice and text. So like, the voice will have multiple languages. And it will be able to send a text while it's talking to you. So it'll send a review link. It'll send a link for scheduling a call. All that stuff.
Yeah, guys, do you see my screen here?
Yeah.
Embed code. This is literally what you have to copy in to make it live on your website. That chat widget.
Yep. Some JavaScript.
Yep. So I'll do is I'll just add you guys. I got your emails last time. I know you got to jump, but I'll add that. I'll add this. Add your emails to this list and add your telephone numbers. And so it's going to send you a text and it'll shoot you an email. Now you got access to the bot. I'm just going to turn on the admin to the role to admin, and then you guys can change it however you like.
All right. Thanks. We'll definitely test it out.
Yeah.
Right, guys.
Yeah, that user interface is impressive.
Yeah. And we're just and guys, if anybody that's watching, we got about 12 people watching. If you have any questions or comments, please just post them below based on what you've seen. If you're scared about bed bugs now, or you think you have them, then just post a comment there. And if you got bites in a line, you've got blood on your sheet, we know a lot now. So you guys can put comments about that or the AI if you want to. But anyway, Corey and Cliff, always fun to hang with you guys, and I think it's going to be really great to get this on your website, and it's really going to be fun to track the search engine optimization that you have over time with your website based on the increased time on site that people are going to have because they're learning about bed bugs on your website.
I definitely want to play it more because I saw that there was a little area where you had conversations. So you can go in and check
can you
that,
view the
conversations, it looked like, and then you can probably make adjustments to your prompt from conversations based on what's going on.
Let me show that kind of briefly. Let me get that up. Right. So I'll add your phone number later. But so I'm adding you, Corey, as a user, and then conversations. Now you can go in and see that this was the web chat that we had, right? And then go in and say, okay, you said this thing wrong, right? Where do I go to find? So that's wrong, and it's bedbugleads.com/directory. Right?
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
And so
that'll automatically.
you're doing the.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that's a reinforcement learning.
Yeah.
I finally remember that.
When it talks to a real human, it's like a test, and then the teacher goes in and corrects it.
Yeah, the magician. The magician.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So it's updated.
Yeah, I'm really impressed.
Cool. Yeah.
It's the first time I've seen it.
Hey, hopefully I'm proud of you guys. But if nothing else, I'm like, now that you guys are aware of it, I'd love for you guys to dive right in, and and I've put out a bunch of these products that I go, look, it's a land grab right now, right? Like let's land together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the applications are endless. You know, you got to, you know, kind of figure out what your application is and then implement it. Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, the access and the easy implementation, very very impressive.
Yeah.
I like it. So
Well, thanks for having us on, Ryan.
sounds good, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Thanks for being-
And
Appreciate it, S.
Yeah,
yeah, we'll
wish we
get
could
you on
stay
and maybe
longer,
like,
but we can do this again.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we'll get you on maybe in another, 3-4 weeks to see, what's going on, what happened. If you get, you're going to get the embed code, we'll send that to you, and then you add that to your site, and
Yep.
like we tell our clients, the sooner you get it on your site, the sooner we can test it. So,
Yeah.
a lot of people are very hesitant to like have it go live. We really, like to hear when people are like, okay, let's just get it live and let's test it because it'll be faster that way. I mean, if it's 80%
Yeah.
there, I would say, that's good enough to
Yeah.
actually get it to like start testing it.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah. My experience has been you can't predict everything in it because until
Yeah.
you put it live with real people, you really
Just don't
don't
know.
know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep.
yeah, that's the real test. You can test it all you want, but until you put real people on it, that's the real test.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
agree. I
Cool.
agree.
very
Okay.
good.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
thanks a lot.
All right,
Appreciate
thanks guys. That was impressive. We'll talk soon.
Yeah.
Yep.
And S and
All
I'll
right.
stay on. Cool. Thanks,
All
guys.
right. Talk later.
See
Thanks.
ya.
All right. Okay. So great job, S. I think that we got about 11 people on. If you got any questions, guys, please ask. We are going to be we're going to be going live, continuing to go live every day at 2:00 to help you generate at least like and we've got a school community or to help you do the same to make an additional $10,000 a month in revenue just from the free school community. Um, just by implementing some strategies for your Google business profile, your local service ads, and leveraging what we just went over today with your artificial intelligence. We can definitely help you. And this is this system is one that really can help you um, to respond to increase your conversion rate because your response is faster for both local service ads and Google Business Profile for local businesses. That's where 80% of people, I'd say 75% of people, are still searching for businesses on Google. And if you're paying for local service ads, you're paying for those phone calls, you're paying for those message leads, you might as well have those two ways to connect to you connected to an agent that never takes a break, that always is available and can respond instantly so that you are giving Google what it wants. So, and what Google wants is they want a fast response time. They want to see that you're able to respond to those voice calls and those message leads within 30 seconds because that creates a great experience for somebody that's going to your business. And as a result, you end up getting more leads from Google. And just to show you, because I haven't been able to actually share my screen. I got to do it because it's like, because I can. Finally, I'm gonna share my entire screen here just to get practice with this. So for you guys that are wondering what I'm talking about, it's when you go and you type in.
So you're doing it on your desktop.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, okay. It did do the LSA.
Yeah. So and it's not optimized for desktop, but it does show. And this is what we're talking about right here at the top of Google. If you type in any business, any keyword for a business, plumber, electrician, HVAC, veterinarian, attorney, realtor, you're going to get this at the top. This is called Google Local Service Ads, otherwise known as Google Guaranteed. And you can see that there's really just two ways, and there's a third actually for booking. But the primary two that people use is message or call. And that's how people connect with businesses, is either messaging or call. And then down below here, you've got the maps. Okay. And again, you can call the business and in order to engage with them. And about 30% of people select from down here, and about 40% select from up here. And because you've got the social proof here, you've got the specificity of identifying that these are businesses in your local area. You've got the authority of them being, the business being high on the list. You've got the exclusivity of being here and being one of only 3, that are selected. So this is how you can get to be the absolute top listing. This one right here. This is the one that gets selected the most. Yeah.
Look at number 3. Isn't that
a
a name that's one of our clients?
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. Yeah. It's exactly. Yep. And so you can see here, yeah, this is going to be, and by the way, I want you guys to see this. If I go to show more, and then I go to more plumbers.
Oh,
this is where
it's our other client. We have number 3 and number 4.
I know, right? So, yeah. So this is yeah. So this is what you want to see right here. You want to see not typically replies in one day. You want to see typically replies to message leads, because that's what this little logo is here. Typically replies in minutes or seconds. Why? Because if you are like in 30 minutes, no, the best is even less than that. It's in minutes, not 15 minutes. It's like instantly. And that's what can separate you from everybody else. You're going to be the one that shows up here closer to the top. And when somebody clicks on message lead and they click and they send a message lead, you're going to get, so this business will get this message lead. But what Google doesn't tell you is, or some people don't know, is that when the person puts in their message, service they want, name, email, and etc., and they click send, it goes to another page with 3 other businesses that are very fast in replying in order to give them a shot at that same lead. So it's like a race to get to that person. And so you can see that not only is your conversion rate going to go up, but you're also going to get more leads, because Google wants to rank you higher if you actually give a great experience. And this shows up as typically replies in minutes. So I hope that makes sense. I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Hey, Ryan, you see drain to drain was 30 minutes?
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
That's because of, that was because of what we did. We implemented an AI for them, and exactly.
No, I'm wondering. I think that might have been one where they're still doing the human intake because they want AI second line.
Yeah.
If it was AI first line, that would have said typically replies in minutes instead of number 4. It probably would be number 1.
Right. Exactly. So this is this is the opportunity. And if you guys have any comments, please let us know. We're getting really close to 3:00, and this will improve over time. I mean, what S showed you is a very fast way to set up an agent for your business so that you can compete, not only compete, but you can really get what other businesses want. I had a meeting today with a business owner, actually yesterday and today, garage door business that has 5 locations, actually 14, and 5 that have LSA, local service ad pages. And then I met with another prospect yesterday that's up in the Carolinas that has a window business that's running local service ads. And he's at least getting leads. The garage door company is not getting any leads on all 5 of his local service ads. So I get those calls a lot where business owners are like, man, I would love to just be able to get local service ads again, because I'm local service ad leads again, because I'm not. So there's nothing. The most challenging thing is for anybody, us or any agency, to resuscitate your account, your LSA account, when you've already messed it up so much that you can't get leads anymore. Okay. So this is what you want to try to avoid. And that's what we do with our clients. It's more of what we're going to do to help keep you out of the doghouse, so to speak, than even help you get the results that you want. It's really to make it so that you can continue to get the lead volume that you're getting and slowly increase it over time, instead of having it decline and potentially like fall off the cliff to zero. So so I hope that makes sense. And yeah, anything else, S? Thank you for the.
No, I mean I'm glad you brought up that example, because I'm
Yeah.
like, when they say, you're not really competing against AI, it's not taking your job, but your competitor with AI is going to take it, right? And
Yeah.
you did a search right there, and we got 2 of the 4 already. Like, it's just a matter of months, right? So
Yeah.
like that number 1 and number 2, like if somehow anybody talks to them, they should be like, all right, you need an AI agent. People
Yeah.
are quickly coming up against you.
Exactly. And this is where, I mean, I just encourage you guys to really take a chance on this technology, because if you do, you're going to get rewarded. You will be rewarded in terms of lower cost. Well, I would say just more leads, and potentially at a lower cost as well, because the agent responds in the way that you want it to, and you can program the way that it responds so that you can actually potentially even get a refund if you want to, more likely, potentially, through the survey process for local service ads. We're still working on that as well, but at least it's more programmable. You have to tell it once, and that's it. You don't have to tell it, multiple times, and train it. So anyway, let's wrap it up. And S, thank you very much, and let's talk later.
Yeah, thanks for setting this up. Bye.
Yep, and we'll see you guys at same time tomorrow, 2:00. And it's going to be our other link. S, it's not going to be the one. That's what it's not. We're going to use the same link consistently moving forward. We're not going to have any different ones. It's going to be the same link every day. So, all right.
All right. Awesome.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.